Happy holidays, guys. You got Crave here, and I hope you're having a great time right now. And since it is the holidays, you might have some extra cash lying around, and you might be thinking of buying a new lightweight mouse to go with your gaming setup. While we do have other lighter brands like the ones from Glorious, the honeycomb design never really appealed to me, so I went with Razer's offering. And with that, Razer has two in the form of Viper and its ultimate counterpart. So to set expectations, this video will just focus on the differences between the two. There are tons of other content out there to help you or that go in depth on each device. With that said, let's get into it. Let's get the most obvious thing out of the way. You either live with the wire or dislike it. I think the most important part here is the DPI setting of the mouse itself or your sensitivity settings in the game. Generally, the lower your DPI settings, which probably means around, I think, 1000 or less, you'd all the more feel the snag or drag of the cord because of the amount of movement you'd have to do. Even with a bungee, I suppose you'd still feel the cord in one way or the other. Now, if you use the higher DPI settings, which may be around 3000 or 4000 and up, then that would involve more action on your wrist, or probably more on your wrist. This means less travel distance for your mouse and less movements being done with the cord in a wired setup. Even if you use your forearm or elbow to go with your movements, it would still mean you get less feeling from the cord because of the, basically small mouse movements already will reflect in the game. So, two questions need to be answered here. The first one is how much the cord drag bothers you, because if you've always hated it, then you're closer to answering the wired versus wireless question. The second question, and this is very important, is whether you're willing to pay a premium for the wireless setup. On Razer's site, there's a hefty price difference between the two, and thinking things over becomes, pretty much understandable. If all you really want is the lighter mouse, then go with the base version, or if the honeycomb designs don't really bother you, then check the Model O's. Personally, I've always wanted to go back to a wireless mouse just to get away from the cord. Battery doesn't seem to be a problem as the Ultimate charges up pretty fast. It's easy to top up the mouse by just leaving it on the dock. 5 or 10 minutes of charging feels like you can get a good hour or so. In terms of responsiveness, the Ultimate and the base version feel about the same, so it's pretty good. I'm not going to get too specific here, but the 74-gram weight of the Ultimate can be felt when compared to the 69 of the Viper. However, coming from a 100-gram mouse like the Lancehead, also from Razer, either Viper model is great. Lightweight mice are just simply a blessing, and I just wish these types of mice were made popular early on by manufacturers. I do want to mention though that the cord on the base version of the Viper should be a factor to consider. While they don't technically add to the heaviness of the mouse, the drag does add some weight in a certain sense. But hey, if that doesn't bother you, then you know what to pick. Personal take? I prefer the weight of the basic Viper as it really just means less stress on the hand in the long term. Maybe future tech will allow for even lighter mice in the future. I don't know, but that's what I'm hoping for. Let's not spend too much time here as they look about the same. Now, the scroll wheel and the left and right buttons design show the difference, where the Ultimate version, the scroll wheel is a bit smaller and the left and right buttons have this additional design as you reach the top of the mouse. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it because they don't really matter to me. They look great either way. Either version looks great. Now, one thing I want to mention about the scroll wheel is that the wireless version makes this noise I've heard in older mice when you scroll up. It's not annoying and you can easily ignore it, but it's strange that it doesn't have the subtle or muted effect of the wired version or even just the scrolling down effect of the Ultimate version itself. It's very weird, but I just thought I should mention that. There is a very noticeable difference in this part if you flip the mice on their underside. And the design really just sticks out, but that's mainly because of the mouse feet being used. The Ultimate one uses the white ones, and the wired version of the Viper uses the black ones. There are comments that the wired version doesn't glide, or quote-unquote glide, as well as the Ultimate, but honestly, if there's a difference, I haven't really noticed it much. However, if you're very particular about this, then you might want to consider feet replacements, and that would be an overall cheaper option than getting the Ultimate. Just one more thing on the underside, and while I do know they both have it underneath, I just want to mention that I do miss the dedicated DPI switch on the top part of the mouse. It's not a big deal, especially if it somehow helps to shed weight from the mice, but yeah, I just thought I should mention it. So that wraps it up, and I hope this video helps you guys get a better understanding of the differences between the two versions of the Vipers from Razer. So let me know in the comment section what you think, but yeah, have the best holiday and I'll talk to you soon.